All right, so I'm going to go over how we can take the derivative of these functions that tend to confuse students when they first, have to deal with them. We're gonna use a chain rule. So even though it says use a chain rule, doesn't mean it doesn't mean that you're only going to use a chain rule. You're going to see that the chain rule usually inquires the product rule and other rules. So so then to start off, what we have here is actually a product. You have one function here. Let's call that f. I know f is there. Let's just say that's your f. This is your g. So to find the derivative of this, you're going to take the derivative of x squared. Remember, because the derivative of f times g is f prime times g plus f times g prime. So we start off by taking the derivative of x squared, which will be 2x. We'll keep this the same. We'll keep that as the square root of 1 minus x squared. And then we go plus. This time we keep f the same. So we keep this as x squared here. And then we take the derivative of this square root function. And that's where it gets a little confusing because let me go ahead and write this over here. Let me write the 1 minus x squared as 1 minus x squared to the 1/2 power because that's the same thing as the square root. So we actually have a power function and then a function inside that's another power function. So think of it as taking like a function of a function and a function. So let's work first on the outside. All we're going to do is change the power on the outside. So we're going to use the power rule, like 1/2, and keep everything on the inside the same. 1/2 times 1 minus x squared to the negative 1/2. And then we multiply this by the derivative of this 1 minus x squared. So the derivative of 1 minus x squared is just going to be negative 2x. And that's really it. Now we just have to clean this up, make it look a little neater. So this is going to be in the denominator. This will be, you can see these 2x's will kind of work out. So let's first write this like this. Let's go and write 2x times 1 minus x squared to the 1/2 power. This 2 and this 2 cancel. And then we have a minus on top. So minus x and x squared and x minus x cubed all over. And then this is going to be in the denominator. It's going to be 1 minus x squared to the 1/2 in the denominator. And if you're really trying to put this all together as one neat fraction, then we're going to need to get this denominator on both of them. So then we just need to multiply this by 1 minus x squared to the 1/2 over 1 over 1 minus x squared to the 1/2. So to the side here, 1 minus x squared to the 1/2 over 1 minus x squared to the 1/2. And so f prime of x will be all over 1 minus x squared to the 1/2 power. And on top, we have 2x times 1 minus x squared. The 1/2 times this. You multiply both these together, you just get 2x times 1 minus x squared to the 1 power. Because the exponents add. And then let's subtract this x cubed at the end there. And then you can see that you can start seeing probably how some stuff is going to cancel. 2x, we distribute that, 2x minus 2x cubed minus x cubed. That'll be on top, so then that'll make them 2x minus 4x cubed on top, all over 1 minus x squared to the 1/2. And then we can take out a 2x out of both of these. 2x times a 1 minus a 2x squared. All over 1 minus x squared to the 1/2. Oh, and I just noticed this should be a 3 because it's 2 minus 1, so -3. And then this 2 won't work out because that won't factor. Well, let me just write it over to the right over here. So on top, we should have x times a 1 minus 3x squared all over 1 minus x squared to the 1/2 power. And there you go. Hope that helps. I'll see you guys in the next video.